Razer has finally made the move over to AMD's new Ryzen processors with their new Blade 14 gaming laptop. My Blade 14 is in the mail and should be here very soon, and I plan on comparing it against the Asus Zephyrus G14 to find out who does the best 14-inch gaming laptop. So make sure you're subscribed for that comparison as well as my Blade 14 review. As you can probably tell by its name, the Blade 14 is a 14-inch laptop. However, on paper, the specs are kind of overkill. It's got an 8-core Ryzen 9 5900HX CPU. Yes, you heard correctly, HX rather than the lower-powered HS versions we typically see in smaller machines, as well as up to NVIDIA RTX 3080 graphics, making this the most powerful 14-inch laptop I'm aware of. Now, obviously in a smaller 14-inch laptop like this, we are expecting lower power limits. So I asked Razer about what we would expect, and I was told that the GPU would have a 100 watt power limit, although that's with dynamic boost, so probably 80 or 85 watts as a base, plus 15 or 20 watts for 100 total. So definitely not the full 150 plus watt RTX 3080. The minimum for a 3080 according to Nvidia's spec sheet is 80 watts, so absolute worst case, that's what I'd be expecting here. It's not just that 3080 option though. The Blade 14 will also have RTX 3060 and 3070 options too, and that 3080 is with the 8GB VRAM rather than the 16GB VRAM option that's available. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the CPU power limits of that Ryzen 9 5900HX, but I was told that it should significantly exceed the 45 watt TDP in a CPU only workload. From my understanding, Razer only plan on selling it with the Ryzen 9 5900HX. I don't think there's going to be a cheaper Ryzen 7 5800H model. I'm not sure exactly why or if this would change, because they could probably offer most of the performance with the 5800H for less money. As I've shown in this video here, the HX is a better binned part and it can perform better with the same amount of power. So it might just be that Razer want the best power possible in that 14-inch form factor. But again, we'll see just how well that machine actually performs when it arrives here for review. I also asked if the Blade 14 was stuck with Optimus or if we would get a mux switch to turn it off, and I was told that it was Optimus only. However, Razer did confirm that the display outputs will connect directly to the NVIDIA graphics, meaning an external screen should give a performance boost in games. So I'll definitely test it out too once the laptop arrives. For screen options, there are 1080p 144Hz as well as 1440p 165Hz options. Both panels come color calibrated, and somehow they're using AMD's FreeSync Premium despite it using NVIDIA graphics. So I'm not too sure how that would work, as up until this point we've only seen FreeSync Premium in the Radeon graphics options. In typical Razer style, the Blade 14 uses a vapor chamber cooler. Inside there's one M.2 slot for storage, one slot for the Wi-Fi card, and unfortunately RAM is soldered to the motherboard, presumably as it just uses less space. Now while that kind of sucks for upgradability, I do get it, but what I don't really get is that they're limiting it to a 16GB configuration. I don't think there's a 32GB option at the moment. I don't know, I guess I'm just more fine with not having the option of upgrading the memory if I can at least buy my laptop with a higher amount if I'm going to be stuck with it. Like Razer's other gaming laptops, the Blade 14 has an all aluminum chassis with matte black anodized finish, and it's also smaller than the Asus Zephyrus G14 in every dimension. The Blade 14 has two USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C ports, which can be used for charging, two USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A ports, HDMI 2.1 output, and a 3.5mm audio combo jack. The keyboard has per-key RGB backlighting as well as front-facing speakers on either side of it. And unlike the Zephyrus G14 competition, there's a 720p camera above the screen with IR for Windows Hello. Perhaps one of the reasons that it's taken Razer so long to move over to AMD is that there's a lack of Thunderbolt support. Razer do also sell their Core X external graphics enclosure, and given there's no Thunderbolt with the Blade 14 as it's an AMD design, it would mean that anyone that's already bought into the eGPU ecosystem won't be able to use it with the Blade 14. Personally, I'm very interested to see how this goes. I know a lot of people wanted to see a Ryzen-based Blade 15, but hey, Blade 14 is a nice start. I think the Asus Zephyrus G14 is the only real competition at the 14-inch size at the moment, at least in terms of gaming laptops. And from what I'm hearing so far, it sounds like the Blade 14 is offering a lot of features that the G14 does not have. Here's what we're looking at in terms of pricing for the new Blade 14 in the US. So on the higher end for a laptop with these specs, which is to be expected given the smaller size. Small size plus higher end specs generally equals more dollars. So this isn't all that surprising. I can't wait to both compare the Blade 14 against the Zephyrus G14 and also just generally review the new Blade 14. Again, it's in the mail and should be here very soon. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed for that upcoming content. Come and join me in Discord and get behind the scenes videos by supporting the channel on Patreon, and check out some of my other videos over here while you wait. I'll see you over in one of those next.